okay. As much as it hurts, as much as there's pains, as much as there's uncertainty, there is still a plan that has been set in motion. There's still a plan for you that's set in motion, that all you have to do is take that mustard seed faith and put it with some radical action, and it will come to pass. All you've got to do is sit, close your eyes, and begin to visualize it.
I had the privilege of meeting her, like truly meeting her when we went to support her event right before COVID. I like to call her event it was like the God designed event right before COVID, because that was the last event I went to. And also as a result of going to that event, I also landed 3 amazing clients. As a result of those 3 amazing clients, one who became a partner was on Good Morning America. So now don't sleep on my tribe. And that's simply, and I'm bet that Pastor Esther probably don't even know that, but just as a result of they meeting me and that's creating a relationship, now they were able to take what we learned from global leadership, and then they moved on, and now they have amazing things, books coming out and all that great stuff. And this is all from our tribe. 7-figure business owner, purchased another early childhood center, just as a result of being part of our tribe, being a global leader, showing up at big money summit like this, business summit, showing up as a speaker, 6-figure sales event, someone who didn't coach. She coached, but she didn't realize she was coaching. So have an amazing coaching business. And I know those numbers have increased past 100% now. And she'll share that with you. And now she knows that, yes, she was designed and divine for a reason, but that there's no more leaving money on the table because she has so much more to do out there, more to serve, more events to have, more connections to be made just from your God-given talent. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you guys our amazing guest speaker for today, Pastor Esther Graham.
Hope everybody's doing, that was awesome, Dr. Ali. Guys, Dr. Ali is doing some phenomenal things. Who was on Good Morning America? I've been tracking, right? Once I got a couple of hits, and I was like, hey, what's going on? Was it Crystal?
Yes, it was. It was
Crystal.
Good Day,
awesome.
DC, Steve Harvey show. Like, they've been doing amazing things, but it's mostly because they started implementing systems.
Yeah, that's awesome. I tell you what, when you become a part of the tribe, as Dr. Ali said, when you become a part of the tribe, it is just so phenomenal. So many great things happen. And I just totally, absolutely love people walking out their purpose, people walking in their gifts. These are things that God has placed in us from the day we were born. Well, really, even before we were born, from the inception, right? From the inception, there are gifts and things that's already been placed in us. Guys, y'all know Dr. Ali, so somebody calls me a Bible girl. Listen, I call him God. I'm not here to push my belief system on anyone. All right. That's not what I do, but I do know in what I stand in and what I stand on. And so that's my affirmation. I look at other things. I read other affirmations as well. I definitely do. But I have to tell you that I read the Bible because I get a lot of my affirmations from them. I get a lot of, how I can proceed and what I do. And so I like to just share it. I looked at The Secret. So I'm so super excited because what I do know is that from the inception that we were definitely created for more, that there's greatness in us. Why? Because we were made in the image of God, and when I remember that I am made in the image of God, that I know that there's greatness inside of me, and I just have to get into the right place with the right people, have the right plan with the right timing to be able to move forward and step into my greatness. And if it's like that for me, it is exactly like that for you as well. And so one of the things I love about being in this tribe is that it's a tribe that supports and promotes and pushes you to your greatness, right? And so Susie's not here, as Dr. Ali says, and so we'll talk about her a little bit since she's not here. One of the things that she does is that she pushes you. She pushes you, right? You already have it in you. It just has to now come out of you. You know, it just now has to, you have to just be in the place to where, you know, you're now ready to walk in your greatness. You're now ready to walk in your purpose. So Dr. Ali's got me all excited. I love it because when she was also speaking about since Zoom, you know, since the pandemic, that we're just all now into Zoom. It's like, yeah, when people are saying, well, do you know how to do Zoom? I feel like if I'm the expert, you know, it's like, oh yeah, come on, that's so easy, just do this. And so we started having our family meetings, you know, on Zoom. And my brother would be on, and I was like, oh, come on, let's just, all you got to do is do this. And then they started calling me the queen of Zoom, right? So I have to tell you right now, some days I just feel like if I'm over it, though, I'm over Zoom. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm super excited to be here, super excited to share. You know, thank you for introducing me, Dr. Ali. I have made, I'm just moving my slides up and down, guys, I'm sorry. I have made lots of strides since this was last created. Of course, I do have my second center, and then when COVID hit, it you know, it just we weren't able to move forward with some things, but it was still there, you know. And so part of the result of that is in the middle of COVID in August in Delaware, you know, we're still in phase 2. And right now, there's no plans on coming out of phase 2. And so while we're in phase 2, no one is going anywhere. They're not going out to do inspections. They're not going out to do anything. But one of the things that I did, because I know the plan that's set before me, right? And I know that I have to walk in that plan. So I picked up the telephone. And I didn't talk to the decision maker. I talked to the decision of the decision maker. I talked to the person who was connected to the governor's office. And I said, hey, you know, this is what's going on and I need to open. And so while they're not doing any inspections, they're not coming out, they're not doing anything, guess who came out for me? They came out for me. They did their inspections, right? And as of August 1st, I was able to open up my second facility. Isn't that just awesome? And now they're calling me. Why? Because now they need spaces for virtual learning because the children aren't allowed in school. And so while we're living in a time where we've got so many circumstances and so many things going on, there's always a gift wrapped in sandpaper, right? Somewhere to where you can move forward. And I think what is really good, because maybe a year or maybe 2 years ago, maybe before I became a part of this tribe, I wouldn't have been willing to so much pick up that phone. I'll just wait and just till it's all over. And when they come and I'll be sweating and wondering what's going on. But I believe it is because I'm a part of this tribe, right? And I have such an awesome support system that I was able to pick up the phone. And since then, as I speak to the results of what I'm doing, I've just been extremely busy with the early childhood centers, getting, making sure that the systems are in place for everything, right? For every aspect of it. But then there's also the coaching piece of my business, which has definitely increased and surpassed even my expectations. And so it's just been phenomenal because with the group coaching and the executive coaching, my social media reach has definitely increased. I started off on Facebook, just Facebook Live, barely doing that, guys, because, that's just not my favorite. I wasn't like Dr. Ali. I'm still like, oh God, I gotta do a live, And so, but I do my lives, and now I'm not just on Facebook. I have a blog, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube channel, it's on everywhere. And so my face, just my reach has increased, and I don't have the percentage for you right now, but I will have the percentage. Because why? Because it's analyzed every month. So I can look at where I began to where I am right now. And then here's this: what are the next steps that I need to do to get to my next level, right? So I know all of this. Why? Because I'm a part of a fantastic tribe. I'm a part of GLP. I've got wonderful coaches. And so that's why I'm able to do this. And something else, I was really listening, even yesterday when I was on, I started my 40-day prayer challenge because I needed it. And so I really started it for Esther. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to just share my 40-day prayer challenge. And so Susie, I guess, saw it on Facebook. The next thing I know, I'm getting a message that says, Esther, you really need to blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, God, I say that to say this. Susie will support you, push you. She's just not a one and done person. And she just began to say, Esther, you should really do a video about this because this is what this is going to do. And I know for me, and this is what she said, I know for me, I really need it. So if I need it, I know others need it, And so I say that to say this, that if you're not a part of this tribe as yet, then the one thing that you definitely want to do is become a part of this tribe. Because this is your support system. This is what's going to take you to your next level of success, right? So just really quick, I'm just going to talk to you very, very quickly. And I'm somewhat going to follow my slides, and I'm somewhat not. Simply because as I was just really reviewing everything and just looking at what's really in my heart, and that has really helped me to continue being in my plan. I'm an international bestseller. I have my book, and I've got the book that has been repurposed several times. I do a lot of my Facebook Live based on my book. My newsletters are based, and also my webinar. My courses are all based on that one book that I have written, that I've been taught how to repurpose it several times, right? And so in the book, I speak a lot about design and default and a mindset change, because I'm very much into ensuring that I'm walking out the plan that God has placed for me, right? That plan that was set in action, in motion at my conception. The day my mom and dad got together and I was conceived, that plan was already in motion. It didn't wait till I was born. It didn't wait till I got older. No, it was already done, right? In other words, God had already had it. He was just waiting on me now to say, okay, Esther, when are you going to be ready to step out and do what I have already gifted you with, what I have already created for you to do? When are you going to do it? And so for me, and walking through all of that, it does take a shift of a mindset. So what I want to kind of focus on really briefly today is, as we're in the pandemic, right? There's so many things going on. Where exactly is your mindset as you're looking at moving forward? Because as this slide says, new mindset brings new results. And so we're talking about how we're in a new normal, right? We're wearing the mask. Sometimes in early childhood, here we have to wear, the teachers, the staff, they've got to wear the mask. I can't even step out of my office without a mask. Everything is a mask. I sometimes forget, and I have to run back in, grab my mask, put it on, and go. And so new mindset brings new results. And so we're in a new normal, which means that we have to pivot and do some things differently to meet the needs where we are right now. So that definitely requires a transformation of the mind. But many times we can't even get there until we really know what we were created to do, what God's plan for us is. And by the way, that plan isn't always going to be out, just laid in front of us. This is what you're going to be doing, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't work like that. Right? It does come in stages. It does come in steps. It does come in season. And what we have to be ready is to open our minds and to really hear and listen what God is saying to us. Many times we deal with our five senses, right? So I say there's a sixth sense, and the sixth sense is the spirit, right? What is God telling you that doesn't even make sense to you? It doesn't even make sense to you. But here it is, you're saying, okay, I'm gonna, I gotta do this. So I want you just to think about that for a minute, and I want you to type in chat, what's my sixth sense? What is it that God is telling you that isn't making sense to you? But because can I tell you something? There's all of us that God is speaking to you. It's either in your heart, you're feeling it in your heart. It may be something you're hearing audibly. Somebody may have even said it to you, and you've got to make a decision. Am I hearing right? Because we question ourselves. Is this what I'm really hearing? Right? What is it that you're hearing? Write that down. That's your sixth sense. It's not, everything isn't based on your five senses. There's some things that's just based on that sixth sense, right? And so to have that mindset shift means that you have to begin to look at that sixth sense. What is it that I'm feeling? Because that's where really you're going to begin to really discover that plan that God has for you, that purpose that He wants you to walk in. When I think about my mindset shift, when I kind of put it together with really what God has for me, there was I began to think about really just a couple months ago when my mom passed away. And what you may not know, and some of you may, she passed away, I guess it was about a couple months ago. Really, it's only been about 6 weeks. And I just never thought that my life would change so much with her, with her passing. And I thought for a minute, what is it that I should be doing? So on the day that we celebrated her transition, we celebrated her life. We celebrated what a wonderful, awesome woman that she was. She was just phenomenal. And she was definitely one to walk out God's plan for her. She walked it out 150+%. And as I began to look at that, and I began to feel the pain of just not having her around to talk to, not having her around to laugh with. And I kind of began to take that step back. I was so appreciative because so many people in the tribe, they reached out to me and they were my support, and they would make me laugh and they would pray for me, just talk to me. I received flowers and I received so many different things. But what you may not know is that I was really beginning to sink. It's really beginning to think, you know what? I need to take a step back, but I need to take it for a while. Because not only did my mother transition out of my life, out of this world, but then that same day, I lost my brother, my sister, and their families. Not physically, because they're still here. But I had to transition to where they were no longer in my life right now. And so you may be thinking, well, what does this have to do with a mindset shift or transforming? And it has a lot to do with it, because we go through challenges and we go through circumstances that are there to derail us, right, from living out our life by design, which is what God has intended for us to live. From living out our life by reaching and fulfilling our purpose. And so that obstacle, while I'm grieving my mother, I'm now grieving losing my sister and my brother, who I thought I was very close to. And now they're gone. And so here is something to set me back and to make me say, you know what? It's just not worth it. But then I remembered what God's word said, that what man meant for evil, God meant for good. And so those obstacles and those things that's meant to derail us is really there to catapult us, is that the correct word? To our next level. Catapult us even more to walk into our greatness. And so as I sat in my backyard, I began to envision my life again, walking full out in the plan that God has designed for me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I began to think, you know what? Let me get back to setting my intentions. Let me get back to walking out my 365 days of purpose. And I sat there and I began to visualize walking in greatness. I began to visualize the peace that I have in my life. I began to visualize the things that I need to do, getting on Facebook, doing my blog, reaching people, because I am a world changer. I'm a pusher. I am a purpose pusher. And if my goal, if my job here on this earth while I am here is to push you to your greatness, then I have to make sure that I'm doing it as well. Are you hearing me? And so I sat there and I envisioned, I closed my eyes, and this is what I want you to do with me this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world. Just take a second and I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And now I just want you to envision yourself walking in your greatness. Walking out that plan that was placed in you from the conception. See, it doesn't matter the negativity that's going on in terms of it's not going to stop you. Look at that. Visualize yourself. And once you visualize that, open back up your eyes. Because whatever you can visualize inside can come to pass outside. If you can visualize yourself walking in greatness, you can visualize yourself with a successful business. Brisa, Jason, you can visualize yourself accomplishing every goal that you have set, then you can visualize it could actually happen. You can begin to walk that out. So that then requires not only your mindset change, that requires now that you set your intentions, right? And so again, I'm kind of varying a little bit away from the slide, but I just really think that this is for the times that we are living now, that we have got to be placed to where no matter what, that nothing is going to derail me from fulfilling the plan of God. See, for me, it's one thing, and for you, it's something else, right? And you have to make sure that you're walking that out, that you're successful. But I feel so passionate about this, even more than before, because, and I guess I feel that passion because I saw my mother. And then when I saw the derailment with my brother and my sister, who, by the way, I was like totally flown. And it's like, oh my God. And then I realized, hey, as much as it hurts, as much as there's pains, as much as there's uncertainty, there is still a plan that has been set in motion. There's still a plan for you that's set in motion, that all you have to do is take that mustard seed faith and put it with some radical action, and it will come to pass. All you've got to do is sit, close your eyes, and begin to visualize it. And if you can visualize it on the inside, it's going to happen on the outside. That is the design of God. That is living your life by design and not by default. I was determined that my default days are over. I may have default moments, but I'm not going to have default days. I'm not going to have default weeks. I'm not going to have default months, right? Only for a moment. And so one of the things I want to share with you, I'm going to give you some steps really fast, if that's okay with you, is finding your path to prosperity, or to profitability is what I call it. Finding your path to profitability, even in the times that we're living right now. Because all of us, if we may know someone that's got COVID, someone that's passed away from COVID, somehow we have been impacted. I will tell you though, like Dr. Allie, Going on quarantine for the month was a blessing for me because it was for me. It really was. I enjoyed it for the most part, right? But not everybody was there. It was really rough on some people, but it never has to stop you. And so find your path to profitability. And I want you to write this down, and you could even write it in chat. There's number one, you've got to up level your giving back. Even Jack Canfield talks about this in his book, his success book. I can't remember the chapter. I believe it's chapter 10. I'm not sure. He speaks about, and he quotes the Bible. He says, give back, find a nonprofit, find something to give back, because I firmly believe that my living is also based on my giving. I give well, and so I live well. Right? And so up level your giving. Give to that organization, give to that nonprofit, give to what you feel comfortable giving, but give back. Right? So that for sure is going to increase your profitability. Jack Canfield said in his book, he had a friend who was struggling in their business. And when he sat down to speak to his friend, and his friend gave him the outline, he said, I noticed that he wasn't giving. He wasn't giving to a nonprofit. You understand what I mean? He wasn't giving. And so he said, the first thing I told him is that he needs to give. And then he told him, given it shall be given unto you. Press down, shaken together, and run it over. Shall men give into your bosom? Right? So up level your giving. Sow a seed, because there's power in a seed. Just like in the mustard seed that's planted, there's power in the seed that you plant in someone else's life, right? And then number two, create a roadmap for your profitability. When you think about a map, you think about possible, when I go to Google Maps and they'll tell you, obstacle ahead, right? Life sometimes isn't like that. But as we're doing the roadmap, you can project what are some obstacles are you going to face, could you face, and what is it that you need to do to overcome those obstacles? Create a roadmap for yourself. This is how I'm going to get here. I'm going to take a right turn, left turn. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to need to do this. What's your roadmap, right, for your path to profitability? And then number three, set daily appointments with God. I call him God. But set daily appointments to where you can pray and you can meditate and you can get clarity. Set those daily appointments, right? And then, of course, the last one, which you've already did, do some visualization. Because what you visualize yourself on the inside, you'll see it. My daughter, we used it with her when she was running track, and she got a track scholarship, and today she's a physician, okay? But she would visualize where she needed to go. She would visualize the finish line when she's running track, right? And I remember when my husband would coach her and he'd say, I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself crossing the line. Visualize. So visualize, where is it that you want to go? Where do you want to go, Zena? Visualize that. Put it on your roadmap and then begin to take those steps. And so for your homework assignment, it's going to be visualizing. I want you to visualize, and then I want you to go and share it. Do a video, a quick 1-minute video of where is it you visualize yourself. Here you are today. Can I tell you that you could say, well, I'm not going to get there, but all it takes is one move. Sometimes what has taken us a whole entire lifetime to reach, all it takes is one move, right? With the right action step and God in it, I like to say, everything can change. All it takes is that. So I want you to put that on Facebook. And then the next thing is this. Y'all know I love Susie. Susie's not only my business coach, Susie is my friend. And this is what I want to recommend for your up leveling. Susie has this wonderful book, Power for Your Profits. I have purchased it. Now she's probably going to kill me. But I say, we all have friends that can use that book. Because, and if you haven't gotten it, you need to, because we don't have Susie to go to bed with us every night. We don't have Susie, that we can talk to every day, but we'll have that book that's got the nuggets of everything, guys. And so what I want to encourage you to do is get that book not for yourself, because by the way, books like that and other things that I've got my GLP manual, it's about this big. It's gotten so heavy, I can't even carry it around anymore. My husband will tell you, I will go to bed with that book and I'll sit in bed and I'll go through and start to mark. Because I don't have Susie with me every day, but I've got that tool. So she has that book. And this is how, for me, one of my up-leveling giving. I'm purchased 5 books. I'm going to find 5 people who will need it. And then give to them. And as you give to them, encourage them to find 5 people to also give that book to. And because this is a book, chapter 9 has information on how do you grow your business? How do you move from here to there? That's a perfect way, guys, to find your path to profitability. That's a perfect way. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do.